Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Now the extra deck, the Extra Zero Festival got underway a couple days ago, and I have been mulling over my options on what deck I wanted to build and construct, and I ended up landing on Kei OTK for the simple reason that it's just very nostalgic and it's a really fun deck to play that you can churn through games really fast and get your medals really quick. I'm sure you may have seen it already, so if you want to, go ahead and just skip to the end where we have about 6 different replays that I put in at the end. It's going to be a bit of a shorter video just because this deck is very simple, but we'll go ahead and just get straight into it. So Kei OTK, we want to either get Mataza the Zapper or Armed Samurai Kei onto the field, and they both share the same effect that are a similar effect where Mataza can to make a second attack. And then Kei, for every equipped card to it, it gains 1 additional attack. So it has a base of 1, and you can continue equipping all of the very powerful equip spells to it, and it will gain additional attacks and get to a really high attack stat. Therefore, Kei OTK. So what are we playing? We're playing 3 of the Mataza the Zapper and 3 Armed Samurai Kei. We're only playing 6 monsters that we're actually using. This guy, who I cannot pronounce, is basically just an upstart goblin. You put it in your pendulum zone, and then it can destroy itself if we have no extra deck, and then draw a card. So it's just an upstart goblin without giving our opponent that extra 1,000 life points. And for that very reason, if you're familiar with like Sky Strikers, you play very few main deck monsters that are actually, not hand traps. We're only playing 6, and they are warriors, so we are able to play 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army to add our copy of Kei. Or if we're out of it, then we can add the Mataza. They are both warriors, which is great. For this deck, because it is very straightforward, we want board breakers, and we are going second, so we're playing the 1 copy of Regeki, the one copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, and you can put in more Lightning Storms. I only have the 1, but you could replace the Mystical Space Typhoons or something else. You can make room however you'd like to put in more copies of Lightning Storm. It's a fantastic board breaker going second, and this deck definitely wants to go second. So, to churn through this deck as quickly as possible, we have Magical Mallet. Shuffle any number of cards from your hand into the deck and draw that same number of cards. We're just, good. With Pot of Duality, we're not special summoning, so we don't have to worry about the special summoning restriction, but so we're running 3 of that. And then Pot of Desires, again, we're running a lot of 3-ofs in this deck. The board breakers go in second. If we get rid of them, that's, not the end of the world, but we do want to see Kei and as many of our different equips as possible. Alright, so our equip spell lineup: Axe of Despair gains 1,000, Mask of Brutality gets 1,000. We're only playing 2 copies of that one. Mage Power is honestly one of the best cards in this, one of the best equip cards for it, aside from United We Stand, but United We Stand is an ultra, and I'm sorry, I'm not using 90 UR points to craft 3 United We Stand for something I'm never going to use outside of this deck. So 3 Mage Power, and then we're playing the Noble Arms Gallatin, and what this does, it is basically another Mask of Brutality. It allows the equipped monster to gain 1,000 attack, and then during each of the standby phases it loses 200 attack. After that, the biggest base stat increase is going to be Psychic Blade. You pay life points in multiples of 100 up to 2,000. It'll be 2,000 every time. And then that monster that this is equipped to gains attack and defense equal to what you paid up to 2,000. So base just 2,000 increase is really nice. Last of the equipped spells, we are playing the Noble Arms Clarence, and this is actually a deceptively really good one. So it doesn't increase the attack at all, but once per turn you can pay 500 life points, and the equipped monster can attack directly. So in the replays, Clarence is definitely definitely showcased, but have the Clarence equipped to a Kei that has 2 or 3 other equipped spells, and it can attack directly for 2, 3, 4, 5,000 points of damage per attack, and then it can just get in for game. And yeah, so that is going to be the main deck. 3 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon. You can, like I was saying, you can replace this with 2 more copies of Lightning Storm. I think Hey Trunade is a really good option for this deck as well. And yeah, so that is going to be the deck. We're going to go ahead and get into the replays now. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you enjoy them. All right, so getting into the first of the 6 replays that I have for you. Most of these replays go by pretty quick because it is an OTK deck, but that's why I'm including so many, just so you can see really what the deck is capable of and just how fun and nostalgic this deck really is. I really enjoyed playing this deck. So our opponent's going to go first, and they are going to be scaling up and pen summoning 3. So they're going to have a lot of bodies on the field, but with our Kei OTK, we have the Clarent. We're not even going to be we're not going to be worrying about that. So we're going to activate Pot of Desires, banishing 10 to draw 2, and we're going to use the Pot of Duality to dig even further into our deck. We already have the Kei, but we're going to add that Axe of Despair, and we're going to normal summon out our Kei. Equip it with Axe of Despair, equip it with the Gallatin, and then equip it with the Clarent. So it is at 2,500. We're going to use the Clarent to be able to attack directly 4 times, which is going to be enough for game. So we didn't even have to deal with any of these, any of the big monsters that he had. We could just go directly over them. So they're going to be the first one. Stick around for the other 5. All right, so second of the 6 replays that I have for you, we are going first. And at times, especially with this deck, it is when you go first and you have the Kei already in hand, typically you don't want to be setting up your Kei going first. You want to leave it till going second. So I opened a Space Typhoon and a Lightning Storm. So I just go ahead and set the Space Typhoon and hold the Lightning Storm for next turn and hope that they don't have enough to get us right now. But it looks like that's not going to be the case. They're just going to set 2 and pass it back to us, draw the Regeki. That's awesome. So we're going to activate the Lightning Storm to clear up all of the back row. Normal summon the Kei, equipping it with the Psychic Blade, increasing by 2,000, and then I equip it with the Clarent, allowing it to attack directly should it need to. Not very applicable at this moment, but they are going to be left on 500 life points, passing it back to them. We do have a set Space Typhoon and a Regeki. Let's see what they will be able to do. I believe, yeah, they're on Blue Eyes, so they're going to reveal the Blue Eyes to summon the alternative, and then just go to battle phase, getting over Kei, dealing 500, and we now just need a monster. If we can even draw Kei, because the base 500 of Kei, we're going to be able to get over the Blue Eyes with Regeki, but we just need a monster. And we draw a monster, which is incredible. So Regeki's going to clear up their board, and we're going to be able to get in for game after that with the Zapper. Third replay that I have for you, and we are going to be going second again. So our opponent is going to be going first, and they are going to go ahead and go main phase, just set 1 back row and pass back to us. So what we're going to do now, we draw the second Mystical Space Typhoon. We're going to activate that MST on the back row to clear everything up, and it looks like they were going to be playing Monarchs. Activate Pot of Duality, Magical Mallet. We hit the Kei. That's awesome. So from here, we're just going to go normal summon. We don't even get the chance to normal summon Kei just because our opponent scooped. All right, so for this replay, I do want to show the deck's insane weakness to one of the other best decks in this Extra Zero Festival, and you'll see exactly what the issue with this deck is against that matchup in just a second. But Pot of Duality is going to get us the Kei, so we are very set up for next turn. So our opponent is going to draw, go to main phase 1, and they are on the machine Machina, however you pronounce it. But the Metal Cruncher is going to be able to add the Resavager is going to be able to increase into 3,000. They're going to do a good chunk of damage to us, but we are looking pretty good. They're going to set 2 back row, and I was really just hoping that I could draw like the Lightning Storm or a Board Breaker to deal with those 2. But from here, we are just going to go for the OTK play. We're going to normal summon the Kei, equip it with the Mask of Brutality, equip it with the Gallatin, and they will chain the Machina Overdrive, and I believe that they get out the Machina Citadel. That's right, yeah. And this is the big issue going against this deck, is that the Citadel basically, as long as your Kei is still lower than 3,000, they're able to destroy it. And if you don't have a follow-up play for next turn, that's basically the game over, because the Citadel will be able to revive itself during the next turn to be able to just interrupt you. And because Kei is only, the normal summon of the turn, no special summoning going on, there's not a whole lot that we can do about that. So the Citadel is going to be able to come back out, and they're going to activate the unauthorized reactivation, equipping the gear frame, and then they're just going to get in for 1600. And from here, there wasn't a whole lot that we could do. We do draw another Benkai, but again, the Citadel is still there, so so on the normal summon, they go ahead and just clear up the Benkai, and to finish things off, I equipped the Citadel with the Psychic Blade, getting it up to 5,000, and they go ahead and just clear things up from here. Not to be outdone by Machina, though, this next replay shows just a clobbering of it. I just didn't feel very good about how the last game went, so our opponent is going first, and they're going to go ahead and get out the Fortress as well as the Unclespear. Unclespear? I don't care. Anyway, they're going to get out a bunch of names, and they're going to pass it back to us. And very similarly to our last game, we are going to just be able to Magical Mallet. We're going to shuffle away Zapper and the other card, get another copy of the Benkai. Pot of Duality is going to be able to reveal us a copy of the Claret, which is exactly what we need. So Benkai is going to normal summon Mask of Brutality. 2 of them are going to get it up to 25. The Claret's going to be able to pay 500, and we are going to be able to get over all of these Machina monsters and just attack directly 4 times in the face for game. Getting our revenge feels very sweet. Alright, so thanks for sticking around. This is going to be the last replay, and I really just... this is my favorite replay because our opponent goes first and just passes it back to us. And what do we draw off the top of our deck but a Pot of Duality? And Pot of Duality, and I just want to take a second to really look at this hand. 2 Acts of Despair, Mage Power, and a Psychic Blade, so all we really need is just any monster, Zapper or Benkai, and we're good. So Pot of Duality is going to get us a Magical Mallet, the Gallatin, as well as the Pot of Desires, and we're going to grab the Pot of Desires because we want more card advantage. So Pot of Desires is going to banish 10, and we get the Benkai. So Benkai normal summon, equip it with the Axe of Despair, equip it with the other Axe of Despair, equip it with the Mage Power, and it is up to 4,500 with the second one, 7,500, and then 9,500 attack. One Punch Man. Kei OTK. This deck is sick. I hope you're enjoying the festival. I sure as hell am. Hit the subscribe button for more Master Duel content, and I will see you guys soon. Have a great day.